Eagle Talk fam?
What's up, guys? Number 110 is here.
Listen, and for 110, we are going to talk about something that I know many entrepreneurs need to hear is how to stay motivated when business is slow.
Yes, that's a mindset thing.
Baby, a whole mindset thing. So look, just to start off with this, let me tell y'all a funny, it's a story. So last year, it was in 2022, right around the time, y'all, if you are in the real estate space, it was a sharp turn. The market took a sharp turn. Like one weekend, we had multiple 50 offers, silencing. And then the next weekend, things started to slow down drastically. And I remember that I had a seller that her house went on the market on a Thursday. And by Sunday, we didn't have any offers in hand. And she said to me, what do you think we should do? Should we take the house off the market? And I was like, girl, nah, we shouldn't take the house off the market. And it's just funny because like literally a couple days, not even days, like a couple hours later, we were in multiple offers. But because the market had been so progressive that when we returned to some sort of normalcy, everybody's hair was on fire, right? And I know that in real estate, we're not the only ones who have dealt with that. So let's just talk about it. And what do we do when we have those downtimes in business that we aren't discouraged and going back to our 9 to 5?
Okay, so that actually, I lived through that. But that happened when the interest rates popped up on me. I had to shift because I was just buying a lot. I was doing a lot of rental stuff, and then it didn't really make sense for me to hold on to it as rentals because by the time I refinanced it, added the tax and the insurance and the payment, it just didn't make sense from what the rents were coming in.
It just didn't make sense.
So I went back to a wholesale strategy probably about July of last year, mainly. But what do?
What do? You
get educated. You definitely stay educated. I think you take that time to continue to get more educated on your field and get creative. That's what I had to do with just different strategies that are out there to kind of generate business so your business won't come to a complete stop.
Yeah, and what's interesting is I remember, and actually it was last episode 109 with Don Ruffin. I think during the time where things started to slow down a little bit on the real estate front, not only did you get educated, but you invested in going to his mastermind, right? And some people would think like, oh my goodness, I can definitely not invest at this juncture because if things are slower, then it doesn't take, Stevie Wonder to see that the same money isn't coming in, but you had the idea to invest at that time. Why?
Yeah, because so there's a couple things with masterminds, especially the ones that you pay good money for. You're going to gain something, right? But you also, at least for me, I went to think bigger. As they say, be in the right room. I was in the right room, had a lot of connections. I probably, in that mastermind, I've probably done deals with at least 5 people that I've met. Since then. Yeah. And one of them repeatedly, including one that I inked this morning. So that was the second thing and then the third thing is you want to get to find out what other people are doing.
Exactly.
Right. So once you know those 3 things, it's kind of like now you back armored up and you're ready to go back into the world.
No, I totally agree with that. And even as we are talking about like what to do when business slows down, I think that we can also pair it with what to do when your business hasn't taken off yet, right? Because I know that a lot of times it seems like you are planting seeds, you're doing all the right things, but you don't have it just isn't, it hasn't taken off to the way you thought it would be. And one thing that I would say about something to do when business slows down, or if you're trying to get into production, whatever that is to be consistent with your activities, right? And being consistent with your activities, I think that sometimes our hair is on fire and we will throw away what we've been doing that's been working. And because it's not working as fast or what's proven to work, because it's not working as fast, we'll throw it away and try to do something else or just be discouraged and not have any movement at all, right? Business is slow, so you're not crocheting no more. You're not creating content no more. You're not showing houses. You're not, doing the same things that got you business in a down market. And the reality is that, I think, and we're in real estate, but I think that because the economy has experienced inflation and things like that, that most business owners, I don't care what type of business you're in, you're feeling it. And it's going to take more effort to just make the same money we were making in a different market. So that's why more than ever it's important to continue to be consistent, because I think that, sometimes if we're not getting those results as fast or right away, then we think, okay, this just isn't going to work, which is different than taking assessments of what's really not working, then quitting and not continuing on.
Okay, so 2 key words you just said there. One was results, the other was assessment. I think, so when we're talking about knowing your numbers, right, I think you need to know your numbers. So if you're looking at, first quarter and then you go on to 4, 5, and 6 and you see a constant decline, then you need to know your numbers and understand that the market is shifting. Yeah. Right. I think a lot of people are in denial and they wait too late. And then you look up and, it's the 10th month and it's like, man, where did all the time in between go? Right. That also goes back to those masterminds and to talking to other people and what they're doing. I really like when you can identify something and then you take action on it, right? Because you can sit on it and just kind of just wait it out, or you can actually take action on it, or kind of like Don was talking about, learning other skill sets and different things like that when you have time in a down market.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking so what I feel like happens, and it has definitely even happened to me, and particularly I'm thinking about when the pandemic first started. And when the pandemic started and there was so much uncertainty around, and I mean, of course, we hadn't been through a pandemic before, but there was so much uncertainty, not just around business, but around life. I pretty much felt paralyzed at first, right? It was pretty much like what I just sat on.
I sat on it,
right? I'm not making any movement, because sometimes it's like you see that the fire is starting, but instead of going to get some water, instead of going to get the fire extinguisher, you just kind of wait to see what's going to happen. Yeah. And that's what I think happens sometimes in with entrepreneurs when we feel a slowdown in business, not getting creative, not staying consistent. Like you see the fire building, but you just pray that the fire department go come, right? Instead of actually picking up the phone or doing the things in your business that are actually going to make sure that everything just doesn't go to SHIT. And that is a challenge that I feel like a lot of business owners have, because we have annualized thinking, meaning that we're thinking long-term, end of the year. Like you said, 10 months have gone past, and instead of making the changes or doubling down on our efforts in month 3, we want to keep giving that same level of effort we were able to give in an up economy. And then when you're on month 10 and now you haven't made nearly the amount of money, you're stressed out, you're in debt, you're overwhelmed. It's like, but back at month 3, we could have done something a little differently.
Yeah. I'm sitting here thinking about too, the celebration, right? Sometimes we get so caught up in work that we don't even celebrate the success that we have. So then when the stuff slows down, right, you have to go back mentally to when it was up. And that can kind of be hard to do, but I kind of think of I've been in real estate 23 years and my best year was 2021. That's a long time to get that win, a major win, right? Yeah. But last year in third quarter, when stuff was slow, if I don't remember the time that I had in 2021, then the momentum just stops. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would.
It's the forward progress that I should have is not there because I don't really get that feeling. So I had to really put myself and have conversations with people that were doing it at a much, much higher level to keep me pushing. And now here it is, we're in second quarter 2023, and I'm right back to where I was at.
Yeah. Yeah. And here is another thing, even with celebrating your wins. Like I think to, a lot of my colleagues, I had lunch with one of my good real estate besties at the beginning of the year.
Was she a top producer?
And she's a top producer, right? And me and Corey joke because in real estate, everybody want to be a top producer. I'm top producer in my office. Girl, you sold one deal because everybody else ain't selling enough. But anyway, no, she really is a legit, she's a baller in terms of the space and just really provides value. But her business was slow, and it was slower than it had been in a lot of years. And there was a little bit of overwhelm there, right? And she and I just got to talk about it. And one thing was kind of like, you know what? We have been running around like chickens with our heads cut off, trying to keep up with this super competitive market that was not sustainable for 2 years. So first of all, sometimes you just got to rest in the fact that, okay, it's not bad. Like, maybe I can have a little time to get systems and processes in order, things that I really didn't have time to do when the market was boom, 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 boom. So that's something like if you don't have a lot of customers in your business right now, what can you be doing on the back end to prepare for when that happens, right? But then on the flip side, really understanding your industry. And, I gave this example before, is that if you understand your industry and you understand that the industry as a whole is experiencing a downturn, it doesn't give you permission to not go for it. But now you can set realistic expectations on what you need to output for what you want to come back to you. And I do think that sometimes, we judge our capacity or we judge our outcome based on the same conditions on the year that we had. We had a different.
Yeah, no, I totally understand.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking back to even like you in 2021, is it fair to say you did not have to do the same level of prospecting, the same level of meetups and conversations and marketing that you have to do to make the same money, right?
No.
But if we go into it thinking, well, this is what I did then, and I want to get those same results now because we are dense about our industry. We don't know what it really looks like and what people are doing in our industry present day, then we're setting ourselves up for failure. So that's just my thing. Like, I think that we have to be very clear on what industry standards are and that we set our expectations and what we're going to do based on that.
Yeah, so a couple of things there, and you are spot on. And pretty much what you're saying is there will be times where you have to do output maybe 2 to 3 times to get back that one thing that
double the work.
Right.
It's way easier to lose weight when you're 20 than 40, right?
Yeah.
Them same strategies don't work. And the same thing in business. Sometimes you have to switch it up in order to get what you want.
Okay, so we're talking about staying motivated in a slow market. Here's a big one for me. And if you don't know, I recently started a team. Got a couple amazing guys. I think it's 5 or 6 of us right now. And that's motivation for me.
Being around people.
Being around them. Yeah. And the fact that they're depending on me, right? They're depending on me to show up. They're depending on me to help, in training. They're depending on me, not the whole time, but I have to show up for my business and I have to show up for my team. Yeah. You told me, and you were so gracious and loving when you said it this morning. But we got new office space, and you told me this morning, one thing's for sure, you get up earlier. and it's not, and you always make this disclaimer, not from a place of judgment. I'm just saying.
Can I back up though? Can I back up? Okay. Okay. So y'all know me and Corey, we gonna keep it all the way real, right? And if like last year, and I get it, you were in the little funk, but I'm like, for Ninja in the Funk, you show sleep in the 10 some days. Like, seems to me, if you so concerned about market, and he'd be like, I ain't sleep, my phone like, nah, if you laying down.
I mean, I was working till 1 or 2 in the morning.
Maybe. But what I'm saying is you have to shift your environment, and shifting your environment, you have to get uncomfortable, or you maybe not even you have to get uncomfortable. You have to be willing to do what it is that you need to do in order to get what you need to get, right? Yeah. And the problem is that, and let's just keep it all the way real, money came real easy after the pandemic.
Super. I was printing my own money. Seriously.
Money came real easy. So now, and then you get accustomed, and then you get a little lazy, and then, all the things. And at the end of the day, really, it was really easy. So now is where we kind of separate the boys from the men.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to be sexist or anything like that, but now is really where you have to roll up your sleeves and go after it. So, and part of that is your mindset about it. Like if we are experiencing a slowdown in business, this is not the time to be dragging you. Pick your feet up when you walk into your office. You know what I'm saying? It's not the time to be bah humbug. It's not the time. Now, it's also not the time to be overly optimistic to the point where you're not being real about, what you have in front of you. But a lot of times what we bring to a situation is what we're going to get from it. And one of the most beautiful examples of that last Eagle Talk, Don Ruffin, he said that he pretty much came into real estate into an up market. And he's like, and I'm excited about being in a market that's not an up market because I haven't experienced that before. And it's going to, allow me to use a different level of skill set. And that was inspiring for me because sometimes people are, people still need to buy and sell houses, or they're still going to need their picture taken, or they're still going to need, to get meals catered, or whatever good or service you provide. No matter what the outcome is, we just may have to change how we go out and find the people whose problems we can solve with our business.
Yeah, it makes. I like that he said that too, because it just makes you. It makes you just think different about things, right? That the old ways of doing business may not work in this market.
It may not work.
Right. The last thing I'm gonna speak on this in a down market, just the people that have that doubt that sinks in from time to time.
Yeah, that scarcity mindset.
Yeah, it's know your why.
Yeah.
Like, why are you even doing this business?
Why are you even doing?
You know what I'm saying? Is it all for money?
And what I'm about to say, and here's the kicker. In when it's slow, if it's only for the Louboutins, it ain't gonna work because they hurt anyway.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You gonna be like, no.
Yeah, but I think you need to know your why, because if money is your only driver, then you won't last long in the business anyway. Yeah. Right. I go back to the team aspect. I got my son is 23. I got another 23-year-old and a 25-year-old, and just
got all them young tenderonis around you.
And me and my partner, but just the fact that I get to see their daily growth, like when they get to about 30, they're gonna be millionaires and they're gonna be just sharp as a tack. Yeah. Because I didn't have nobody at 20 something years old to show me what not to do. Right. So we sit there every day and we strategize. We talk different ways of doing deals, of making money, rental properties, just a lot of different strategies, more than just wholesaling, because now we're thinking long term. Yep. And making them understand that 30 comes like that. Right. That. So, it's just some things, man, that I'm real excited about. What do they say? Like being in the pit, right? Being around the boys, it just re-energizes you. So maybe that's some things that somebody might needs to do also if they're unmotivated in times like this. Yeah,
and this is so to close it out. This is part of what you're saying. Is that collaboration piece, right? Yeah. And whether you are in a team, whether you are, let's be real, a lot of our listeners on Eagle Talk are solopreneurs. You used to working in your cubicle and you by yourself, and that's your lane, and that's what you think your zone of excellence is. But to get to that zone of genius, we really have to open ourselves up, create community with other people, so that you all can collaborate and learn from each other. And sometimes it's just we were in a mastermind meeting yesterday, and it's not that misery loves company, but there were some consistent things that came up in the mastermind, and it was freeing to know, like, I'm not the only one that feels like this. And if you feel like this too at the level that you're at, then this can't be a roadblock for why I will or won't succeed. So if you are never in the room with anyone, and if you never have these conversations, then you can't be privy. And I already know what you're saying. I don't know nobody. Corey, Rosemary, y'all know my friend. Create it. Create it. You talk to 4 friends who are have the same goal. They don't have to have the same business, but you be the person to say, hey, this is my idea. I would love to just take you to lunch and just, talk through. And sometimes, I went on a mastermind meeting with somebody a couple months ago. I probably never go with them again, but it's okay. I mean, it's nothing that was wrong. We just weren't. It's just not somebody I would choose to spend a lot of time with, right?
Yeah.
But I'm happy that we went that one time and that we initiated that one meeting. So get out here and just get to know other people, because when we have these down moments, that's something that will help you.
Yeah. So there you go, y'all. When your business is slow, you feel unmotivated, you guys have the power to change it. For sure is what we're saying. So hopefully this information got to you guys and hit you well. This was episode 110.
110, baby. And speaking of, if you made it to the end of this episode, go ahead and subscribe and leave us a 5-star review.
That's right. We greatly appreciate that. Like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see y'all on the next one.
Yep. Talk to you soon, Eagles.
See y'all.
Bye, y'all.